Hi there, it's Carol with Carol B Crafts. Today we'll be making this adorable little birthday card using the We Must Celebrate stamps, and we'll be using this large stamp here and the Happy Birthday and We Must Celebrate. This is card number 1 in my We Must Celebrate online card class. The class kit is available through May 31st, 2018 and includes 4 cards. Well, it includes 8 cards, 4 designs, so you'll get 2 of each of these designs with the class kit. Everything you need to make this, you just need the stamps and something to your adhesive and something to color your images with. Now you can get this class kit free with a $60 retail purchase using the host code on my website www.carolbcrafts.com. Now I did a separate video with the coloring technique, so that should be relatively easy for you, and also the stamping. So if you want to watch that first before we get into making the first card in our class kit, I highly suggest that you watch that. These are colored with the Stampin' blends, but I also cover how you can use the watercolor pencils as well. Now in the class kit you will get this 2 separate items packaged to make 2 different cards, the same card but 2 different packaging, so that if you have a friend you can share the class kit with them. That's kind of what I wanted to do, is to make it easier. Lots of people like to make 2 cards instead of just 1. And so this way, with the 4 designs, 2 of each, you can have 2 cards of each design. Now this is a really cute little happy birthday card that could be used for a child or an adult. I think anyone would love to get this darling, adorable little birthday card. In your class kit, let's check and see what all's in here. There is the thick Whisper White card base. It's already scored. We'll go ahead and just fold that away from us and burnish the edge there, crease it, and that way we're ready. It is a horizontal card, a landscape card, so that's how we're going to be using it. Now I will put the supplies and dimensions on my website www.carolbcrafts.com in case you want to make more if you got the kit, or if you're just watching and you'd like to make one. Then you'll have the dimensions and supplies available so that you can follow along as well. I do give you an envelope with each card. Make it easy for you to just pop it in the mail. Now on top of our card base we're going to have a piece of garden green cardstock, which is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. On top of that, a piece of the Tutti Frutti DSP that is retiring May 31st, so if you wanted to make these cards you need to purchase that. Be sure to use the host code on my website, because you can get the class kit or you can get 15% back in rewards in products using that host code. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. It's going to go on top of there. Very simple card to put together. The most difficult part, I guess, would be the coloring. But if you have the Stampin' blends, that would make it so easy. And the Stampin' blends will be available June 1st. So be sure to jump in and get that host code when you do your ordering, and order some Stampin' blends to color your little animals. Now we have a piece of garden green, 4 3/8 by 2 3/8. That's going to go behind. I give you 2 pieces of thick Whisper White because you're going to be coloring. We need to use the thick Whisper White. It is going to be 4 1/4 by 2 1/4. You only need 1, but I gave you 2 in case you have a little boo-boo. Then we have another piece of garden green. I like this garden green. I don't know, it's just really nice. 4 1/4 by 3 1/2 for the inside sentiment, which is We Must Celebrate. And again, I gave you 2 pieces of the regular Whisper White. 3 7/8 by 3 1/8 to go on top of that. And so that's pretty much all the cardstock. The ribbon, we have the 3/8 inch stitch satin ribbon in the garden green, of course, and it is 9 inches for the bow and 7 inches to go around the card. So let's get everything that we're going to stamp. Oh, inside your envelope you have some stuff. Let's not forget that. We got some good stuff in here. The 2 labels. You'll only need 1, but 2 labels. The little banner, which has adhesive on the back. Yay! You just pull that adhesive thing off and it will stick for you. No messy glue to deal with. And some self-adhesive pearls. These are the smallest pearls in the Pearl Basic Jewels. Now let me tell you where these came from. The labels came from the Petals and More Thinlits dies, and they match the Petal Palette stamps. Now if you took my class, one of my classes, I think this was a couple months ago, the Petal Palette, this is one of my favorite, all-time favorite stamp sets. So definitely, it's a bundle until June 1st. After June 1st, you can get them separately. But if you order them as a bundle before June 1st, you save 10%. So be sure to use that host code. Just a reminder, if you do want to get these darling bundle here, be sure to use that host code. Now when I looked for something to kind of fill up the empty space, I thought a banner would be perfect, but where would I find a banner? Well, I found one in the Build a Bike framelits. I found this little banner die here. I didn't show you this is the label die from the Petals and More framelits. This is the little die for the banners, and it's in the Bike Ride bundle, which also retires as a bundle June 1st. You'll still be able to get these, but you won't be able to get them as a bundle and save 10%. So be sure to get those before June 1st if you're interested in that. This is how I did the self-adhesive. So I got some of the, let me get them. We sell these adhesive sheets, Sizzix adhesive sheets. There's 12 sheets in a pack, and you basically I'll put the number on the screen. You place your cardstock on one of those sheets and then you peel it off, and that puts adhesive on the back of your cardstock. You run the cardstock through your Big Shot like you normally do, and what happens is it puts this adhesive on the back. So all you have to do is pull back that sheeting and it sticks without having to use any glue. And I like to use those when I have small pieces that I don't want to mess with glue. So that's something to think about, picking up some of those adhesive sheets. Now so let's get back to our card. So we're going to do some stamping. We're going to stamp our animals on this piece here, the 4 1/4 by 2 1/4, and our sentiment is going to go on this, which is 3 7/8 by 3 1/8, and then our label, Happy Birthday, is going to go on here. Now I use chocolate chip ink, but you don't have to use chocolate chip ink. You could use just regular ink. I just thought chocolate chip kind of went better with the colors, blended better with the colors here with the little animals. So let's get our stamping done and out of the way. Move everything. Don't want to lose my pearls. Get over there. I'll set these aside. Now I will need my Stamp-A-Majig, which the Stamp-A-Majig is retiring, and the Stamparatus will be available again June 1st, so we'll start using the Stamparatus, but for today we're going to use the Stamp-A-Majig. I don't think you really need the Stamp-A-Majig for the animals. The Stamp-A-Majig is just mostly going to be for putting your placing the happy birthday on this small label and on centering it on your inside sentiment. So here's our stamp. I haven't cleaned it since I used it last. That's okay. We'll go ahead and stamp our little animals. Now I did that video showing you how to different methods of stamping. The method that I like to use is the one where I use the Stampin' Blend marker. Now I said Stampin' Blend, but I meant Stampin' Write. Stampin' Write basic black marker. And what I'm going to do is put this down. I'm just going to use a little bit of adhesive just because I want it to stay in place. If I can find my adhesive. I want it to stay in place while I'm doing my stamping. Don't want it to move. Now I'm going to ink this up, and you'll see this technique in my video, the one about stamping and coloring. It will be before this one in YouTube if you're a YouTube subscriber. If you're not, please subscribe. I would love it if you do. Alright, I'm not going to worry about inking up the mask, the tail, and the bear's nose because, like I did in my video, I'm going to use the brush end here, and I'm just going to brush over the mask, the tail, just the rings of the tail mostly, and the nose of the bear. Now this is pretty straight here, so if I take this and I put it even with the paper, it's going to be pretty straight. So then I just have to make sure that I have even spacing on all three sides. At the top I have plenty of room at the top, and the sides are pretty even. Okay, and again, be careful not to rock the block. Push down just over the stamp. Okay, now because I used the Stampin' Write marker, I can come back in and the ink will match perfectly, and I can fill in where the ink didn't. Okay, so that is how I will do that. Now I'm not going to color this because I did the coloring video prior to this, so you just have to check that video out to see how to color it. All the animals are colored the same colors, so that video will show you how to color these animals. So the next thing that we're going to stamp is the sentiment, and it's going to be long ways this way because it is a horizontal card, a landscape card. So I'm going to put this down. I will use my Stamp-A-Majig for this. And so I have my plastic and my Stamp-A-Majig, my stamp. I have my happy birthday stamp, and I'm going to ink it up. Make sure it's not upside down. I've done that before. Going to go straight down and up. Now this will help me to center. Oh, I'm not putting happy birthday on this, am I? I'm putting, what am I putting? Let me get my card. We Must Celebrate goes on the inside, but I can still use this. I'll get my We Must Celebrate, put that in the corner, and getting ahead of myself there, going to put that just about right here, anywhere you think you would like to have it, just as long as it looks straight. And it does kind of look straight, so hopefully it is straight. We must celebrate. And then, of course, you get 2 in case you have a boo-boo. And then we're going to do the, now we're going to do the happy birthday. Find the side that has a smooth side instead of the little rims on the edge. And tape that down so it will stay in place while we use our Stamp-A-Majig. Happy birthday. Center it and get our stamp, ink it up, go straight down and up. Happy birthday. Okay, so we're ready to put our card together, so let's bring in all of our paper and cardstock. Now the scallops go down, but if for some reason you put it on where the scallops are going up, that's perfectly fine too. Alright, and then we're going to put the DSP on our larger panel of garden green. I'm going to use my waxy strip to kind of help act as a barrier in case I have to realign my paper. Now we're going to put some ribbon on this, our 7-inch piece of ribbon, and let's see, it is the top of the ribbon is going to be 1 inch from the top of the card. So I'll get a pencil and I'll mark on the back 1 inch from the top of the card, and that will let me know where the top of my ribbon is going to go. I will put some snail adhesive there to hold the ribbon in place underneath that mark. The smaller piece of ribbon is the 7-inch. Get it even on sides here. Find my 1-inch mark, push the ribbon in, bring it over, make sure it's not sagging, and find that mark and push it in. Alright, it's ready to go on the card base. Make sure it's opening the right direction before I put it down. Now this waxy strip is from our mini glue dots, what's left over from our mini glue dots, in case you're wondering. And it looks like there's a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. It just doesn't want to go into place. Okay. Alright, now we are ready for our image. I'll bring my image in. It's going to go on top of a piece of the garden green, 4 3/8 by 2 3/8, just like that. Now we get to put our little banner up here in the corner, like that, and it's about a 1/2 inch from the top on this side, and then it touches the edge there. So I'm going to get my piercing tool, my favorite tool, and just lift up that backing. And then figure about a 1/2 inch from the top, and then even with the top up here, and then press it down. All right, we have our banner in place. Now I put this on with a mini dimensionals, I believe. Yes, mini dimensionals. Mini dimensionals are just a little bit thinner than regular dimensionals, so that's why I like to use them. But you can use the large ones if you don't have the mini ones. I'm sure it would be just fine. Okay, so I have my mini dimensionals on and I have the backings off of them. And it looks like it's going to be a little more than a half an inch from the top of the DSP, about a quarter of an inch from the edge here. So let's just go ahead and put that in place. Make it so it's level. And then push it down. Now we're ready to put our happy birthday. And we're just going to do that with some snail. It's going to be wherever you like it. It looks like it's a little less than a half an inch from the bottom of the white and about a half an inch from the edge of the DSP. So I'm just going to put it right here. That looks good enough. Now I just realized I stamped this in black instead of early espresso, so you can see there's really not a lot of difference. I do think the early espresso looks better, but you know, no biggie. And we'll put our little we'll put these in place. They act kind of like a little brad, just to add a little bling. Now we'll put the inside sentiment, "We must celebrate." And that's going to go on the inside. These tops to the mini dimensionals are everywhere. I need to throw them away. They're just getting in the way. This completes card. Oh, it doesn't complete it. We still need to do the bow. Again, getting ahead of myself. So we have our 9-inch piece of ribbon. We're going to go in the center and kind of make 2 loops with our fingers like this. You probably recognize this technique, but if you haven't. Alright, here's the 2 loops. We're going to take this loop, cross it over that one. Now we have like an X right here. This one over that one. We're going to take this one and push it through the loop that we just made. And then when it's through, we're going to pull it. And that's not supposed to twist like that. So I'm going to untwist it and pull it. And then you can adjust it by pulling the ends. And that gives us our little bow, however big you want it. It is a relatively small bow. Don't want it to overpower. That's still a little too big. That looks about right. Pull the tails down so that they are down a little bit. How's that look? That looks still a little big. Let's pull this and pull this. That's looking better. Alright, we don't want it to overpower the card. And then we're just going to take our scissors, some sharp ribbon scissors, and cut at an angle there, and then at an angle here, and we have our bow. And we're going to put that on with some glue dots. Put a couple of glue dots on the back of that, side by side. 1, 2, and those glue dots will hold it in place. Believe me, they're some sticky stuff. Alright, we have our card now. This time for real. So this is card number 1 in my We Must Celebrate card class. Like I said, check out my website if you haven't already and get the host code. Purchase $60 retail at stampinup.com using my current host code at the checkout, and you can get the a gift from me. The gift, the 8 cards, 4 designs. Ready to go. All you need is adhesive, ink, and something to color it with. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye now.